names are Kim and Isabel. Kim is an admissions and recruitment specialist, and we are going to be talking about computer information systems. So anything you want to know about how to get into Mount Royal, how to get into computer information systems, and what you need to do academically to prepare, Kim will cover it all. But I know what you really want to know is what's it really like to be a student at Mount Royal University? What's it really like to be in computer information systems? And to talk about that and to give you a little inside scoop, we have a second year student in computer information systems, and her name is Isabel. So welcome, Kim and Isabel. We are so happy to have you here today.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
And I want to let everyone know who's watching, we have some great information to cover, but if we are not covering a question that you are dying to know the answer to, please type it in the chat and we will do our best to get to it. So here at ApplyBoard, Mount Royal University is a very well-respected partner of ours. Very happy to be working with them. And I want to get started by asking you a few questions if you are ready. Are we ready to get started, Isabel and Kim?
Yes, we're good to go.
Okay, excellent. So we know that Mount Royal University is in Alberta. And then for those of us out there that don't know much beyond that, what distinguishes Mount Royal from other schools, and what distinguishes your computer information systems programs from other programs?
So I'll go first. Both Isabella and I will talk about this one. For me personally, I went to a really large university. My class sizes were 200 to 300 students. I was really shy. I didn't ever talk to those sitting around me, and I was like nervous to raise my hand. To me, Mount Royal is so much more welcoming and friendly feeling. It really does feel like a community. And it doesn't matter what program you're in, you get to know your profs, you get to know other students really well. So that sense of community here is a lot stronger, I find, than at larger universities. So I really appreciate that.
Awesome. And Isabel?
Actually, before I went to MRU, I actually went to a different post-secondary.
Oh.
I did enjoy that, but I felt that I needed like a little bit more to prepare myself for the workforce. And I actually found like MRU does like the work terms and like the small class sizes, like Kim said. So it was a really good fit for me.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really important for sure. Kim, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, so I just wanted to address the second half of your question, what distinguishes computer information systems. So this program is often compared to computer science. So any students who are interested in IT type courses, they often ask about the difference. Now, we're finding that computer education and research are, making their way into business schools and vice versa. It's a wider trend of meshing computer education with what is actually being used for in real life. So in BCIS, these students, they get really strong technical skills, but they're getting a breadth of and depth, in business courses as well. So it's a really great opportunity for the business department as well as the science and technology department at Mount Royal to work together, provide those skills in, data science. So it's like a natural enhancement to kind of the BCIS program.
So would you say then, if there are students that are interested in both technology and business, that this might be a good program for them?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, awesome. And then if I am interested in that program and I'm an international student, how do I get in? What do I have to do?
Yeah, great question. So there are at least 2 high school subjects as minimum requirements. So that first class is a grade 12 level English course, and the second is a grade 12 level math course. Now, in addition to these minimum requirements, students need to have competitive grades as well, and we calculate that differently depending on whether you're a high school applicant or a post-secondary applicant. But in general, the competitive range for the program is between 75 to 80%. And then lastly, in addition to those minimum and competitive requirements, any student whose first language is not English, they need to meet English language proficiency. So there's lots of different ways to meet that. We always encourage students to apply for a backup program just in case they don't meet those minimum or competitive average requirements. And so that backup program lets them start those BCIS courses and upgrade at the same time.
Awesome. And so if they don't meet the minimum English proficiency requirements, is there an ESL program that they can do? Do you have that
Yeah.
option?
We do. So that program is called LEAP. It stands for Language Education for Academic Purposes. So students can increase their English language level through this program.
Okay, awesome. And so I think for all students, regardless of whether you're a Canadian or an international student, your hope is to get a job and have a career after you graduate. And then I think for the majority of international students that we work with, they are really strongly thinking about staying in Canada after they graduate. So, can you talk to us a little bit about students that graduate from this program? Are they getting jobs, and how do you help them on that journey?
Yeah, for sure. So this program has been in place for the last 12 years. And interestingly enough, we actually have seen some students come back and teach as professors in the program. So that's a work opportunity. We do also have co-op and work terms that students do as part of this program. So oftentimes they'll find placement with the company or the organization that they did their co-op with. Some might even have, job offers in place before they graduate, so that way they can start work right away after they graduate. Isabel, do you have any other things to add, or if you know of any students or other friends that might have had some placements?
I do know of one. She was actually my mentor for last year, and we do talk sometimes, but I know that the people that hired her for her work term are actually still hiring her to this day. So she's still working with them. So it was really nice to hear.
Awesome. Yeah. We also have a career services department. So students can always book a one-on-one appointment with a career advisor, do that career exploration, all the other things like review your resume and cover letter, do those mock interviews and, help you find that placement as well.
And I think, Kim, I think that's a good piece of advice. And the thing that I always encourage students to do is make sure you take advantage of those things, right? Make sure you're making that appointment. Make sure you're getting help with your resume before it's your last month of your degree program.
Exactly.
Hopefully you agree with that. Would you agree with that?
For sure. Yeah. Students need to also be able to self-advocate for themselves,
Exactly.
right? If they don't reach out and tell us hey, I need help finding work, we don't know. Maybe we think you're doing amazing on your own. So it's always important for students to self-advocate as well.
And Isabel, I know you're in your second year right now, so you still have some time left before you finish your degree program.
Yeah,
is that something
absolutely.
that you're thinking of? Have you ever taken advantage of any of those career services?
I have taken advantage of it. I know for one of my classes, I needed to do a resume and I wanted to do good on it. So I booked an appointment with with a, with the library, and then they helped me get through my resume, made some suggestions. And also we also have a course that it's required, so we call it the co-op course. Basically what happens is we would do resumes as well, and they help you step by step to make sure that your resume reaches a competitive level. And then we also do mock interviews in that. I'm currently in that course, so I've only gone into half of it, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Maybe I'll check in with you again in a few months to see how it went. We have some questions coming in about finance. So first, before we delve too deeply into that, I want to know about scholarship opportunities. Do you have any? How does an international student get a scholarship?
Yeah. So international students are eligible for entrance and in-course scholarships. They're also eligible for any nominated awards and emergency bursaries that don't have a residency requirement. We offer over $3 million every year in scholarships to all of our students, and international students are eligible to apply. So you have to apply for your program during early admission, which is between October 1st and February 1st.
Okay,
And then
still
they
have
have
some
up
time.
until, lots of time left. So they have up until March 1st then to apply for their scholarships. And it is one application. They tell us everything about themselves. Maybe you did brownies or Girl Scouts when you were in grade 7, put that on there. You never know if there is a scholarship out there. So we highly encourage, to apply for those scholarships. And then once you become a student every year, you can always apply for scholarships as well.
Okay, great. So I just want to reiterate this because this is very important. Submit your application before February 1st, and then submit your application for scholarships before March 1st if you want to be considered for those scholarships. And who does not want to be considered for scholarships? So make sure you do that. I have another question coming in. Basically, we want to know if a student gets accepted, what is the process for paying tuition fees? Like, do you have a tuition deposit? When do you have to pay your fees by?
Good question. So if you are offered admission, in order to accept your offer, you do have to pay a tuition deposit. That is $425 Canadian, non-refundable. So that's your way of letting us know you're accepting that offer. In terms of tuition, usually the first week of classes is kind of a grace period to add or drop courses. After that add drop deadline happens, then the tuition for that semester, so depending how many courses you're taking, it's due for that semester. So students pay per course per semester.
Okay. And we certainly can't give visa advice, but I know that sometimes students, and we have a student here chatting about it, decide to pay their tuition early so they can provide that receipt when they apply for their study permit. And there is often a thought that showing that commitment can help you get a study permit. So if a student wants to pay their tuition early, pay it half of it or in full, can they do that?
Yeah, for sure. We actually, all students need to pay their fall semester's fees by mid-August anyways, in order to stay registered in their classes. So yeah, if an international student wants to pay their tuition early, show that commitment by all means.
Okay. So Kim and Isabel, students that know about Canada often know about Ontario and BC. Some ways, maybe it's the California and New York of Canada, but there are 8 other provinces and 3 other territories and so many other wonderful places outside of those 2 great provinces. So we know Mount Royal is in the province of Alberta. What is Alberta like?
I will start on this one. So Alberta is an amazing place to live. I'm also biased because I was born here and I was raised here. But in terms of financially, I think it can be a lot more affordable to live than those larger cities like Toronto and Vancouver. We only have 5% tax compared to 12% or 13% in Ontario. So housing and accommodation and just kind of quality of life can be a lot more affordable because of that. In terms of our city, Calgary is a very safe, a little more quiet. So if you like kind of that quiet life or you're looking to raise a family here, this is great. And it's also very diverse and multicultural. So I really love food, different cuisines, and I find that Calgary has all of that to offer. So I love that. And the people are super, super courteous. We're also really close to the Rocky Mountains. That's the biggest draw, I would say. So any student that wants to visit Lake Louise, Banff, if you love the outdoors and nature, there are so many things to do out there, like hiking and winter and summer sports, camping. So you can take advantage of all the beautiful views that we have here in Alberta, and Calgary's so close to Banff.
Yeah, I think if you're out there and you're curious, just do a Google image search of the Rocky Mountains or of Banff, and I think you'll be blown away. Now, Isabel, I know you have a little bit of a different perspective than Kim because you've lived in other parts of the world. You've lived in other provinces in Canada. I know you lived in Ontario. How did it feel moving to Ontario? How is it different than your previous life experience?
It was a huge culture shock to me because in the first few weeks there, people were saying hello. Random strangers were saying hello. So it was really, really friendly. We don't do that much in the Philippines, only if you know people. But also, like, the buses were also different for me, like the transportation. It was, I don't know how to say it, but the traffic wasn't bad. That was the biggest one for me, but I really enjoyed it the first time I came to Ontario.
And you know what? It's so interesting because traffic and being stuck in traffic can really affect your quality of life
Oh,
and how many personal hours you have in your day. So I know it seems like a small thing, but that is really important. I know we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to tell our viewers what on campus life is like, what sort of activities you have for students, what sort of support is out there for international students in particular. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'll let Isabel start because she's a student currently.
So I've only been to the campus for a month and a half since COVID last year, but so far I'm really enjoying it. The I love like the library the most. Like they have so many resources available. They have so many study spaces available that I could use. At the same time, there's workshops in the library that could help you develop skills like time management, so, which I really think is important. And also, there's also clubs on campus that you could join. I haven't seen any. Well, I haven't been to one, but I would like to do that in the future. So it's really good to take advantage of all the things on our campus. Yeah.
I know it's sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Isabel, I know it's a strange time to be beginning studies in a pandemic, but I'm confident when things get back a little more closely to what we're used to, you'll have all those opportunities again. And Kim, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, so just tacking on to what Isabel said, the library has so many great learning resources, success workshops. But in addition to that, I want to talk about the International Student Center, Student Support Center. So this is actually volunteer driven and student driven. So they plan and create opportunities for students to participate in social and cultural activities. They have a space for students to practice language, study, meet new people, learn from each other. They do like some really fun events virtually right now, like the International Kitchen. So international students, they teach like a recipe or a meal from their own cuisine to everyone. And obviously, not only international students can come and join, but it's open to any students who want to learn about new cultures as well. So it's a really fun, really supportive and engaging space, both for international students and non-international domestic students, to meet and make new friends.
That's awesome. So, I think we've covered a lot here today. If you are watching and you're interested in that world or you have questions that weren't answered, please get in touch with us directly. We would love to help support you through that journey. Big thank you to Kim and Isabel for joining us today. And Isabel, good luck on your semester and on your studies. Hoping to learn more in the future about how that resume session and how those employment classes went. And hoping that we send some excellent students your way for the next intake. Thank you very much. Have a lovely
Thank
day,
you very
everyone.
much.
Thanks, everyone.